Good morning and welcome back to Rise and Shine Yoga. I'm Paul from Oxford Yoga Studio. And you might notice that we're in a little bit of a different surrounding than we usually are because this is my studio right here in the heart of Oxford. And you also may notice that my assistant or one of my teachers, Stephanie, isn't here this morning. And that being that her future father-in-law is having open heart surgery. So I thought that might be just a little more important than our Rise and Shine Yoga this morning. So hopefully you can keep Stephanie and her father-in-law in your prayers. So as always, let us sit at the front of our mat, cross our legs, sit up tall, have your hands on your knees or in prayer, and close your eyes. And let's set an intention, as we always do, to begin our practice. This intention can be for yourself, for a family, friend, for the universe, for whatever. So make that intention now. And as we go through with our practice this morning, if you find yourself struggling throughout the poses, or your breath goes away, your mind starts to wander, come back to this intention, because at the end of the day, our good thoughts is really a big part of yoga. And now, with our breath, we want to develop that yogic breath, that Ujjayi breath, the deep inhale through the nose, the exhale out the nose. And as we exhale out the nose, we want to constrict the back of our throat. So we want to make like a ha sound, like a fogging of the mirror as we do our breathing. So let's start to deepen our breath now. Deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. And this breath, like our intention, I want you to use throughout your practice this morning. It should be strong, slow, and controlled. We're not huffing and puffing through any of the poses this morning. So if you find yourself during your practice that your body's not really into it or you're struggling with the breath, come back to the breath, get it slow and controlled, one breath, one movement. And so now with our intention and our breath developed, let us start our warm-ups for this morning. So I want you to roll forward into tabletop, hands and knees. You want your hands directly underneath your shoulders, your fingers spread really wide, your knees about hip distance apart. And take a quick look between your legs, and if you can see your feet, just move them behind your knees. We want a flat back, and we're going to do some what's called cat-cows, just to warm up the spine a little bit. So we're going to inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. And then exhale, round the back like a cat. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. And exhale, round the back. We'll take this a few more times. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, round the back. This is a good opportunity to really start getting control of the breath, one movement. We'll take that one more time. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. And exhale, round the back. Now come to a flat back. Bring the big toes of your feet together. Sit back on your heels. Come back to child's pose. Now slowly come back up to hands and knees, tabletop, flat back. In child's pose, like I always say, is a pose of comfort, a pose that I want you to come back to at any time during your practice this morning. If you find yourself struggling or you're just not into it this morning, please come back to child's pose. It's not a weakness that you have to come to child's pose. It's really that you're honoring your body and you know what you need to do to take care of your body. So we're going to do a little bit of a core flow here. So hands underneath hips, Knees underneath, or hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. I want you to extend your left arm forward, right by your ear, bicep by your ear. Your gaze is at the front of your mat. And if it's available to you, bring your right leg back, point the toes to the back of the room, about hip distance. This is kind of a balance between a balancing pose and a core pose. And of course, you want to make sure you're breathing. Now release them both down to the earth. And we're going to do that on the right side. So inhale your right arm straight, your bicep by your ear. And then if it's available to you, bring your left leg back, point the toes to the back of the room, hip distance height. Core is engaged. Your gaze just slightly in front of your mat. And exhale, release. And now we're going to put those two together in a little bit of a flow. So inhale, your left arm forward, your right leg back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round the back. Bring your knee to your left elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Crunch. Inhale. Now stay here for a little bit. Now bend your right knee or right leg and see if you can bring your left arm, left hand to grab your right foot and kick your leg back if it's open to you. This is a good heart opener. Kick it, kick it, kick it, and then release. Now we'll do that on the right side. Extend left leg back, right arm forward. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, forward. Crunch. Crunch. Two more. One more. Now bend your left knee, grab your foot if you can, and kick. Again, a good heart opener. Kick a little higher, and release. Now bring your right foot in between your hands, then your left. Slowly come up to standing, reach and rise. Bring the palms together at the center of the heart. Catching your breath, getting control of your breath. In the next segment, we're going to work with our standing poses. So come back to your intention, come back to your breath, and I will see you in the next segment.
On out for Friday night fish at the Oxford American Legion Hall. It's delicious.
We love the Legion. They have great fish and good family fun.
American Legion fish fry. It's awesome. And the drinks are good. The food is good. The service is awesome.
You're watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford, Addison Township, and the village of Leonard.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Yoga, continuing with our standing poses. And as usual, we're going to use our Sun A's to really warm up the body. So check your foundation. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. You're standing up tall. Your bundas or abs are engaged. Your shoulder blades are back. And we can make sure they're back by lifting them up, bringing them back and down. Hands, your palms open by your side. Dandasana really brings back the shoulders. So let's begin with Sun A's. Inhale, reach and rise the arms overhead. And exhale, fold forward, hinge at the hips. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, step back to the top of a push-up. Stay here for just a quick second. Make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. Press your heels back so you're one straight line. Exhale, lower all the way to the bottom, keeping the elbows in tight. Inhale, straighten the arms. Lift the chest, up dog. Exhale, uncurl the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And since this is probably your first one of the morning, bicycle your feet. In downward facing dog, your hands are pressed firmly into the mat, fingers spread really wide, your hips reaching toward the ceiling while you're pressing your heels down. And don't worry if your heels don't come all the way down. They will eventually. Your gaze is toward the back between your legs. And actually, down dog is actually a very relaxing pose. At the end of your next exhale, look between your hands, bend the knees, walk, step to the front of the mat. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach and rise. Really extend the arms. Exhale, palms together. Center of the heart, Samastiti. Right into the next one. Inhale, reach and rise the arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, step back to the top of a push-up. Exhale, lower all the way down, keeping the elbows in tight. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the chest, press into the feet, up dog. Exhale, uncurl the toes, lift the hips, down dog. And we're going to stay here for 5 good breaths. So if your breath has left you, this is a good pose to bring it back, get it under control. At the end of your next exhale, look between your hands, bend the knees, walk, step, or float to the front of the mat. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, slowly come up, reach and rise. Arms overhead. Exhale, palms together. Center of the heart, Samastiti. Now we're going to do Utkatasana, or chair pose. So you want to bring your feet closer together. They don't have to touch, but you're still standing up tall. Shoulder blades back, bandhas engaged. So we're going to inhale, the arms overhead, and we're going to sit into a chair, bend the knees, look down real quick, and if you can see your toes, that means you're in a good position. If you can't see your toes, then you might want to come up a little bit. Shoulder blades back, strong arms, strong breath. If you can, bring your gaze up to the ceiling of the sky. Relax the shoulders. Now bring your palms together into prayer. We're going to twist over to the right, hooking our left elbow around our right knee. And in these kind of twists, your left knee may want to come back out. So if it does, just bring it back in. Really press into the palms. Your gaze up to your right elbow if that's available to you. This is a good twist for getting rid of the toxins in our body. Now come back to center, twist to the left, hooking your right elbow around your left knee. Again, your right knee might want to pop out. If it does, just bring it back in. Really press into the top of your left thigh, palms together, gaze to your left elbow. Come back to center, come back up into chair, straighten the legs, bring your palms together, Samastiti. We're going to do one final standing pose. So for this one, I want you to bring your feet the width of your mat. Toes can be pointed out or in. We're going to do a squat. So just going to come down into a squat. If your heels can't touch the ground or this is very uncomfortable, just come down and sit on your tush. Bring your palms together in prayer. And if it's available to you, bring your elbows and press them into your thighs so that it forms like one straight line. This is a good way to really open up the hips. And you're breathing and you're sitting up tall. And if you want to have a little bit of fun, let's see if we can do a bind. So extend your right arm forward, wrap it around your right knee, and bring your left arm behind your back for a little bit of a twist. I happen to think binds are really cool and fun. And even if you can't fully get the bind, have the intention of having your left arm on your back and still getting that twist. And then release. And we'll take it the other side. Left arm, wrap it around your left knee, and do the bind with your right hand. Ideally, you want your heels on the ground, but if they're not, that's okay. It's just yoga. And come back to center. Slowly make it up your way to standing. Take a break. In the next segment, we will finish with our seated poses.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
What will you build? A wall, a roof, a room? Or will you build a stronger family, healthier children, more successful students? What will you build? Every year, thousands of volunteers, donors, and partner families build houses and so much more with Habitat for Humanity. They build hope in your community and a brighter future around the world. So what will you build? Find out at habitat.org and help build it.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
All right, welcome back for our final segment of Rise and Shine Yoga. And we're going to finish as we always do in our seated poses. So this one you should be familiar with by now. Paschimottanasana, our Western stretch. So at first we're going to do Dandasana with our hands right by our hips, our toes pulled back, our legs engaged. We're sitting up tall, our gaze is level. And close your eyes. And breathe. Come back to the intention. Now if your eyes are closed, open them. We're going to go into Paschimottanasana, our Western stretch. So inhale the arms up, and exhale, fold forward. And if you can, take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes. Inhale, come up halfway. And then exhale, pull yourself forward. Bring your elbows out to the side for more of a stretch. If you need your knees bent, then you need your knees bent. You want your heart to come towards your feet. You don't want to round the back. It's not about how low you go. It's really just about the intention of a flat back. Now release your bind and come back up. And I think I had mentioned a few weeks ago that in Ashtanga, which is a series of poses, in a lot of the seated poses we do what is called a vinyasa. And I don't think we've ever actually done one after a seated pose. So this is what it would look like. You do a seated pose, you come back, you cross your ankles, lean back, and you roll forward. Bring your legs back to the top of a push-up. Slowly go all the way down. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog, and then come back into a seated position. So those are optional. I think they're kind of fun to do. So like I said, they're always optional between the seated poses. So the next one we're going to do, I want you to inhale your right knee up and bring the sole of your right foot into your left thigh. Your left toes are pulled back. Kind of turn your torso towards your left foot. Inhale, exhale, and then take a bind either around your foot, toe, shin. And again, we're not rounding the back to the knee, we're shining the heart toward the foot. Release the bind. Inhale your right knee up. Extend your right leg. Now we're going to do the other side. Inhale your left knee up. Bring the sole of your left foot into your right hip. Your right toes pulled back. Turn your torso towards your left foot. So we're going to inhale. Then exhale, fold forward. Taking a bind anywhere you can. Release your bind. Inhale your left knee up. Extend your left leg. And again, the optional vinyasa. I'm going to do the optional vinyasa. Inhale, cross the ankles. Exhale, come forward into a push-up. Slowly lower down. Inhale into up dog. Exhale into down dog. And then make your way to a seated position. And now we're going to do Marichi Asana. It's a twist with a bind. So I want you to inhale your right knee up. And you want your sole of your right foot flat on the mat. Your toes of your left foot pulled back. And we're going to inhale, reach with our right arm on the inside of our right knee. Bring it around the right knee. Take our left arm, wrap it around the back. And then take a bind. And twist it. You can lean forward. If you have the bind, release. Inhale your right knee up and extend it. And now we're going to do the other side. So inhale the left knee up, left foot flat on the mat. Take your left arm on the inside of your left leg. Inhale, really reach, wrap it around. And then take your right arm, wrap it around. You can fold forward. You can do more of a twist. Release your bind. Inhale your left knee up and extend it. And now we're going to do a little bit of a yin, bound angle. So bring the soles of your feet together, but not close to your body, a little bit away. And just let your knees fall, your chin come to your chest. I like to put my hands just to rest on my shin. And just relax. Let the breath go. Let gravity take its course. As I've mentioned previously, yin poses really help take care of the ligaments, the tendons of our body. Slowly release, come back up, make your way to the front of your mat, cross your legs, bring your palms together into prayer as we seal in our practice this morning, hopefully feeling better than we were when we started. I want to thank you again for watching Rise and Shine Yoga. The light in me bows, reflects, and honors the beautiful light in all of you. See you next week, guys. Namaste.
You're watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford, Addison Township, and the Village of Leonard.